If you're anything like the average Marvel Rivals player, the beginning of a season or mid-season update is mostly just enjoying the new characters and maps with other players. But there's also those pesky challenges that you simply need to grind the missions to earn all of the rewards before they are gone for good. And other than a quick glance around the event page, I bet most players don't spend the time to really take in the information or explore the page for the secret details hidden within. In this video, I want to give a digestible recap of the information in these temporary menus before they disappear forever. And I want to explain why these event challenges are surprisingly important to the story of Marvel Rivals. Before we begin, I gotta give a shout out to the way they did the missions this season. The tic-tac-toe style, letting you choose which missions you want to do to unlock the rewards, is a small but innovative change to the simple way they hand out the rewards. I hope the future seasons have little differences in how we can unlock the gear. I think that would be really fun. Anyway, from this main screen, we can see that there are 4 sections, each of which focus on a different mutant. Except Black Panther, but I'll explain that one later. So, at first glance, there are only 4 sections of information to read, right? Wait, what's that? Why did it highlight these symbols as if you can Oh yeah! Every section has 3 secret additional cards to explain an aspect relating to the character's page. Like, this is why I made the video. Like, what is this secret page? Why are they going to the temporary page of the event and hiding secret pieces of lore and fun facts that most players, they won't even know that these exist? Anyway, now that we know the format of these pages, let's start learning the lore they provide. On Emma's page, the main section goes over the history we already knew about Krakoa. Wanda Maximoff created an advanced Cerebro helmet that was capable of calling mutants from different chronoverses. She handed it to her dad, Magneto, but soon after that, Magneto realized that a strong telepath such as Emma would be better suited to use the new Cerebro. And then, Emma explains a new problem. They originally would store the memories of all mutants in Cerebro, so that if and when a mutant died, they could download the mutant's memories into a new body and essentially rebirth the mutant. But now that there are various versions of each mutant from different chronoverses, they had to create a new system so that each Wolverine or each Logan doesn't accidentally get replaced by a different one. The side sections go over other aspects of Emma's past. First, the Quiet Council. The council was created to balance the leaders of mutants. It had 4 houses named after the 4 seasons. Before the time stream entanglement, each house had 3 members, meaning there would be 12 total on the council. But now, there are only 3 mutants total. Autumn is currently held by Magneto. Autumn was kept for the greatest leaders mutant kind had ever known. Winter was for radical-minded mutants like Emma Frost, creating new ideas for the future of mutants. Spring was filled by compassionate mutants. Currently, there is no member in this house, but I believe Charles Xavier would be on this seat if he gets added to the game. And Summer was for mutants deemed to be fair and just. Storm currently occupies this house. In the next infographic, we look at the most valuable resources of Krakoa, the flowers. Krakoa is actually a living mutant island, and it creates these living flowers capable of profound pharmaceutical effects, curing deadly diseases, extending lifespans of both humans and mutants. Because of this, these flowers have become a great bargaining chip between Krakoa and the outside world. The next segment is about the Hellfire Club. This club was a group of influential mutants with wealth, status, and power. And when Krakoa became the sovereign nation of mutant kind, the Hellfire Club was reborn into the Hellfire Trading Company, which dedicated itself to share the benefits of Krakoa with the outside world to ease the tension between mutants and humans. Though the name of the club changed, the parties that they threw, the Hellfire Gala, continued until the time stream entanglement occurred. And now, Krakoa is yet again opening its doors for another Hellfire Gala. Now, before we leave Emma's page, I wanted to give a shout out to whatever this diagram is showcasing. Clearly it's labeling different chronoverses/timelines, but I don't really understand the graphic as a whole. Like, where are the timelines on this sea? If any of you have any theories, let me know in the comments. Next, let's look at Wolverine. His section does not entirely focus on Krakoa, but instead his adventures in the human world. Wolverine explains that so far, he has been helping the Resistance in various ways. First, he helped Black Widow discover and save Captain America from Alchemax. After that, he took Cap to the Galactic Empire of Wakanda, so he'd be safe from Alchemax, Doom, and others. After that, he did a more personal mission, which this is all new info. He was holding onto the Muramasa Blade, a cursed sword able to cut through anything. His ex, Mariko, used to carry it, but she disappeared during the time stream entanglement. Wolverine decided to find a safe place where no one could find the blade, but some ninjas jumped him. They weren't after the blade though, they just don't want Wolverine to search for Mariko. Luckily for Wolverine, Black Widow appeared and helped him fight them off. Now, who is Mariko? Maybe we will learn more in one of the infographics. Speaking of, let's look at the first one, which dives into the Resistance. This infographic explains that Logan is doing many tasks in 2099. He is the head of security for Krakoa on the X-Force. He leads the charge in finding mutants, such as in Magic's first character story. And, much to Magneto's dismay, he is helping the Resistance, which is a human fighting force that is trying to stop Doom and Alchemax. The Resistance is led by Black Widow and the Punisher. But now, we go to the next infographic, which explains a secret reason Wolverine is in the Resistance. He really wants to explore the world to search for his beloved companion, Mariko Yashida. Wolverine hoped the Resistance intel network could help him track down clues about where she is. If megacorporations or Doom stand in his way to try to stop him from getting Mariko, he is perfectly fine slashing them down on his path. Now, the final infographic for Wolverine goes over the X-Force. As we know, Krakoa is a highly valuable island. Its mutants, its flowers, its powers, all of this means Krakoa is constantly under threat of invasion. X-Force is a dedicated strike force to protect Krakoan interests and slash down invasion threats as they rise up. The time stream entanglement may have dwindled the group's size, but Wolverine continues to lead the mutants in an effort to protect Krakoa. Now, as we leave, their graphic displays some information of Wolverine and Black Widow, such as their true names and what timelines they are from. It's just kind of nice information to add to the background. Now next, let's go to Black Panther's section. Wait, he's not a mutant though, right? Why does he have a file? Well, once we enter the file, we realize it's actually Storm's section. The reason Black Panther is the image is because of their relationship. In the main body, Storm explains her distaste for the Hellfire Gala, but this recent gala had one guest that made her feel at ease: T'Challa. She says the energy of T'Challa as he walked through the portal washed over her like fresh rain. Because back from her timeline, she and T'Challa had a relationship that was lost when she saved Krakoa by relocating it into the future. Now, once the festivities of the Hellfire Gala began, she started talking to T'Challa. Neither of them were looking for romance, but she still asked him if the Galactic Wakandan Empire could help Krakoa in locating their sister location on Mars. Without pause, T'Challa assured her that they would find Urako. And when Storm asked how Krakoa could repay Wakanda's kindness, T'Challa simply said he wished to have the chance to make up for his previous regrets. Now, while Storm didn't know what happened between them in his past, she was curious to discover what happens in their future. Now, this is why I'm making these lore videos. There are so many underlying stories that focus on the individual characters and how this multiversal time stream mess is weaving together. Characters from different timelines learning each other's histories and creating new futures together. While not all of this information is important, these temporary event pages should be recorded and saved so that the information isn't simply lost in a few weeks. Now, as we look into the next infographic, we get an answer to a question that I recently thought of. Once the Wakandan Empire forged an alliance with Krakoa, the Hellfire Trading Company gave some samples of Krakoan soil to Wakanda. Princess Shuri and other scientists of Wakanda researched the soil, discovered traces of chronal energy, which was put on the island as it was transported through time and space. This chronal energy has spawned sentient seedlings that are imbued with chronovium. Now my question was, what is the chronovium doing to Krakoa? In each major location, chronovium has had a different effect on its time and setting. In Yigsgard, the World Tree's sap was imbued with visions of the future. In Tokyo, the web of life and destiny absorbed the time energy and needed to be controlled. In Wakanda, they had vibranium chronovium. In New York, they had blood chronovium. What was Krakoa's special chronovium? It's the Seedlings. They are living chronovium. What they will be used for is still up in the air. I'm theorizing that Doom 99 will be capturing them. If you don't know, part of why Doom 99 is on Krakoa at the Hellfire Gala is to get time energy. We don't know how he's going to do that, but maybe it's by capturing these little guys. The next infographic talks about Arakko. It is the sister nation of Krakoa, separated by the stars. Ever since Krakoa went to 2099, they have lost communication with their mutant brethrens. Even the Galactic Empire of Wakanda have not been able to find Arakko. But we know that Arakko will be the next map that Ultron has already taken over, or at least this is the most accepted rumor. This next section is one of my favorites, the portals. Some flowers of Krakoa are capable of granting amazing health benefits, but others are capable of growing into gateways between distant locations. We've seen them on the new map and in character stories such as Magik and Namor. But one flower was planted by Magik, and she used her sorceress abilities to alter the portal to let it travel between dimensions, specifically to Limbo, where Magik rules as queen. Now, T'Challa frequently visits Limbo to talk and learn from Magik. Magik uses mystical flames to purify the blood chronovium within the Wakandan king's body. Now, this is my favorite story of the entire event because of how many smaller side stories this calls and ties together. 1, it talks about the portals and explains their lore. 2, it calls to Magik's story where Wolverine goes to Limbo, where he, Magik, and Wanda all save a mutant child and bring her back to Krakoa. 3, it references and gives an explanation for why Magik and Black Panther have a team-up that allows Black Panther to use Magik's portal. And finally, 4, it references the gallery card where T'Challa got cursed by Dracula. So this one random infographic that is hidden on the event page calls back to a map, it calls back to character stories, it calls back to the team-up ability, and it calls back to the gallery cards of Season 1. These are the connections we would be losing if the event page simply disappeared without any recording of it. This stuff is so cool and interesting, and why is it hidden? These tabs are hiding information that will be lost. Why? Why is it hidden? Well, okay, we need to move on. Let's switch to the last section, which features Namor. Now, one detail I'd like to point out about all of these main pages of the characters is the information isn't just talking about the characters, they are from the perspectives of the characters, which is done very well in Namor's section. First, he explains his previous negotiation with Magneto, and why Namor refused to ally with Krakoa because they wanted him to obey the laws of Krakoa. But as ruler of the sea, Namor would only ever follow his own rules. Namor realized that the time stream entanglement was creating far more important issues, and he had no choice to help out the war against these different issues. But whose side would Namor choose to be on? The answer came to him when he was summoned yet again to Krakoa, but this time by Emma Frost. This is where the character's voice stands out, so let me read it directly. Me. She too attempted to entice me, and she was quite persuasive in her argument. I am not certain if it was her impressive skills as a negotiator, or simply her allure as a woman of great power. What can I say? Namor has a type. He later goes on to explain that before the night was through, he agreed to ally with Krakoa. In return, his people would know Krakoa's secrets. And then it ends with, Namor will gladly honor the deal we have struck, until someone gives me reason to do otherwise. And the characterization of this game is another reason why I love the lore. In this one small section of the event page, it demonstrates Namor's absolute love for women, and also, at the end, it shows that he will backstab anyone if given enough reason. And they did it in a very funny way. Onto the infographics for Namor. This first one is mainly just reiterating and adding a bit of detail about the Alliance and how they will be more powerful together. But ultimately, again, Namor's loyalty is solely to his people and to himself. The next infographic describes Krakoa's security system, which Namor has studied. The biosphere of the living island is also part of Krakoa, and it is able to protect itself. The plankton drifting in the coastline and the pollen floating in the air are early warning systems, monitoring the waters and the skies for disturbances and sending warning messages back to the mutants. If Namor truly wished, he could use his power over the sea to disrupt the defense system, creating blind areas that could be exploited. But currently, he is allied with him. So instead, he will help reinforce the warning systems. And that is why it is crucial for Krakoa to have Namor on their side. Now, the absolute final section that I will go over in this video is the secret underwater cities that Namor has. While man and mutant kind have fought over the surface world for centuries, there are secret legendary civilizations such as Talokan and Atlantis hiding under the seas. Despite the distance between the cities, all undersea realms have united under the rule of their one monarch, Namor. The million undersea creatures all stand ready to prove their loyalty to their king. All of these details explaining character relationships, details giving insight to how stories conclude, details explaining team-up abilities, showcasing the lore of the locations, and the history of brand new characters. All of these details are on a temporary screen, where if you decide to take a break from Rivals, you'd probably never see them. That's why I've made this video, to show all the fun details and secrets that lie within this event challenge. I also want to give a shout out to NetEase and whoever is creating the story of Marvel Rivals. They are weaving together various parts of the stories and adding details that are almost completely inconsequential to the success of the game. And I want to show others how cool it is that they are putting so much effort into all of these little details. And if you've watched this whole video, I hope you've enjoyed it and I hope you've learned something about the game. And go on to research it yourself or to watch other videos, whether they are mine or someone else's. I don't care. Just, I hope you've enjoyed learning about the game. And additionally, if you have cool details that you want to share with me or others, please do. I love learning new information from the comment section. It has been super fun. And finally, thank you to my patrons. All of your patronizing has been a great motivator to me. Thank you very much. Appearing on screen now is probably going to be a subscription button. If you liked the video, you can click it and subscribe. Now appearing on screen is probably going to be a video that YouTube algorithm thinks you should watch. And finally, appearing on screen now is my biggest video about Marvel Rivals yet. Other people watch it, and so you probably should too. Goodbye!